Hello, good afternoon, everybody. For the amount of buzzes we had in the last session, I'm sure I'm more worried about the buzzes than the presentation which is coming on the screen. Good afternoon, everybody. At the outset, I'd like to thank Creative Economic Forum for giving me this opportunity to speak about something about our beautiful state Sikkim and what we intend to do. I'm sure the younger audience know, most of you know about anime and manga. You sure? So for the uninitiated, anime and manga, Japanese version of comics, if manga is comics, anime is animation, and we're looking at Sikkim, the beautiful state located in northeast, to be the next destination for anime and manga creators. We're looking at creative economy from the animation especially in the anime and manga version. Now the question many of you would ask is, why Sikkim? Anime and manga, it is a Japanese art, and why should it come to Sikkim? The question, the rebut that you would like to ask is, why not Sikkim? There are several reasons why Sikkim should be the next animation destination for India. If I can request to go to the next slide. Creativity requires a lot of good and beautiful spaces, and we believe that Sikkim is one of the most beautiful spaces where creativity can thrive. So one of the best reasons why animation should thrive, anime and manga should thrive in Sikkim is because of the scenic beauty, which has mountains, lush greenery, and local folklores which has not been tapped as of yet. And from the local folklores, we can look at curating local IPs. Fortunately, in India, we have a lot of content which comes from rest of the world, but we have very less content in the anime and manga segment which comes from India. So this is a great opportunity for us to create local IPs, and Sikkim is the preferred destination why anime and manga should thrive. Also, we are a very peaceful, eco-friendly state, and more importantly, youth literacy and artistic culture is thriving in Sikkim. We just need, I always say that if South India is meant for mathematics, the Northeast is meant for fashion and creativity. So this is one hotbed for creativity, and this is one of the reasons why we should have animation as one of the thriving businesses happening towards the Northeast, particularly Sikkim. Let's go on to the next. So if you look at anime as a sector, and if you look at the global market, it is one of the fastest growing markets, fastest growing segment with about 30 billion as on today. And by 2030, we're looking at a $45 billion business that is going to happen, and Sikkim would like to take a chance in being a part of that creative economy with opportunities, streaming and gaming expansion. And also one of the opportunity we saw is globally, there is a dearth of animators and quality animators in studio, and Sikkim is poised to take this opportunity and become India's capital in terms of anime and manga. And even if you look at India as a country, 15% CAGR annual growth, but unfortunately, we are lacking on our cultural IP roots, and from the mountains of Sikkim, we want to create a lot of IPs which could go on to global platform. And these are some of the statistics that we have in terms of anime and manga. Let's go on to the next slide. We're looking at what is that we can offer to the world from Sikkim in this aspect. We're looking at making of anime studios. We're looking at manga publishing hubs. We're looking at training academies which teaches young students, which helps them become better in their animation, especially in anime and manga. We're looking at annual anime and manga festivals like what happens in Japan, and also we're looking at collaborating with the Department of Tourism, where we can have anime trails and experimental parks where visitors who come to Sikkim could be a part of this experience. Let's go on to the next slide. And what are the strengths that we have in terms of bringing anime and manga and animation in in a wider range to Sikkim. Some of the things that we have is, the first and foremost, certainly we have the government, which is very proactive for entrepreneurs, which is looking at creative elements coming to the state. We have great support from the state government in terms of creative pursuits. We have green energy and sustainable infrastructure. We have youth engagement, interestingly, in art, design, and storytelling. Digital literacy is very, very high in our state, and also a proximity to Southeast Asia could bring a lot of business coming to Sikkim. And this is why these are some of the strengths that we have when anime and manga is brought to Sikkim, and Sikkim becomes a creative destination for animation, anime, and manga. We're looking at investment for the ones who are willing to invest in Sikkim. Some of the investment avenues that we have is we're looking at studio infrastructure, we're looking at IP development, we are looking at training institutions, we are looking at building tourism assets in the PPT mode, which is the anime trials, theme cafe, and also merchandise. Merchandise, if you look at anime and manga, right now we have merchandise coming only from Japan and the areas. We're looking at creating IPs and also looking at creating merchandise, localizing the context based on Indian animation and creating an anime and manga on these lines. And also we're looking at content distribution, which is going to be big in the years to come. What is there for the investors in terms of return on investment? You'll certainly get a lot of good people, and good job creation is going to happen. We're also looking at exportable IPs. If you come to Sikkim, if you bring your work to Sikkim, there's a lot of exportable IPs that we can build together. We're also looking at the anime tourism revenue. This is one big sector that we're looking at in terms of collaboration on a PPP mode. And also we're looking at, if you bring anime and manga work to Sikkim, we're also looking at being that hub for regional dominance in this area, because no other state has been focusing exclusively in having a hub for animation, anime, and manga, except the cities like Delhi, which has a lot of studios. But we're looking at a mountain range where a lot of creativity flows. So this is a great opportunity for any investor who wants to come to Sikkim and invest in this sector. Also, we're looking at collaborating, as I said, in the PPP mode with tourism, with integration of tourism. We're looking at anime trials in Sikkim, like how we have the nature trials. We're looking at anime trials that is happening. We're going to create scenarios where people come and be a part of the anime trial. We're also looking at a Himalayan cosplay fest. A cosplay fest is happening in Japan right now, but we're looking at Sikkim as an international destination where we can have a manga festival, an annual manga festival that is intended, where we bring in people from across India and across the world to come together and celebrate animation, manga and anime. And also we're looking at manga museum and art streets also in the future to thrive with the coming in of investors who are going to look at Sikkim as an investment destination for anime and manga. The next one is, how are we going to go about it? We're looking at human capital plan. In the human capital plan, we're looking at partnering with animation schools from across the world. Right now, we're in talks with some people in Japan, and I'm sure we're going to have some collaborations. We just had a word with the Harman studios also, where they have shown some interest in collaborating with us in some of the projects that will come in the near future. We're also looking at training a lot more people. If you have visited Sikkim, if you come to Sikkim, you'll see that there's a lot of art flowing out there. We're looking at further training our local talent in digital art, storytelling, and voice editing, so that we can become a global hub in terms of anime and manga. Also, we're looking at scholarship for young Sikkim artists, and our organization, which is the Asian Academy of Anime and Manga, is looking at front-ending this entire thing. Right now, we are building a few IPs, and hopefully we'll have some IPs come in the next 1 year, which could be saleable to the world outside. And let's go to the next one. And right now, we are collaborating with two companies, one based out of Gurgaon and one based of Chennai, out of which we have got our brands. Our brands are Animecon, Angus Plus Martin, Own Chain. Otaku Jatra and Studio Kapi, which is our manga, exclusively makes manga comics in collaboration with us. So moving on to the next slide, we're looking at partnerships. What kind of partnerships are we looking at? We're looking at national as well as international partnerships. In terms of partnership, we're looking at partnering with Japanese anime school, because that is where it all started, and they are the best in the business. So we're looking at collaborating with some of the best Japanese anime schools who can come and teach our young ones to become better in terms of perfecting the art. We're also looking at collaborating with Indian universities, because, as I said, anime manga is one of the fastest growing sectors, and a lot of young students are interested in being in the sector. I'm sure some of you follow anime, follow manga. I'm sure some of you are nodding your heads. You follow that. What we are just doing right now, we are being consumers of anime and manga. We are looking at you being the producers of anime and manga, so that we can show the Indian heritage to the world through the form of anime and manga. Also, there's a huge potential in terms of OTT platform. I was just speaking to the Harman Baweja studio. They said that one of our biggest future investment is going to be on animation, because animation is something which will never go out of sync. So they said that this is where the world is also heading towards. So anybody who is interested, anybody who is wanting to make it big in the animation sector, manga and anime are two platforms that you could certainly explore. And please visit Sikkim, where we are building the studios, where we're building an ecosystem on anime and manga. And more importantly, we're also looking at the culture ministries, which is the ministries from India and other ministries, and private investors to invest on a long-term sustainable platform in Sikkim, so that we can together curate the anime and manga industry in Sikkim. Because I was looking at the time, for the positive time, what I'd like to end with is Sikkim we are endeavoring that Sikkim is the next big destination for anime and manga, because the world is hungry for stories, and Sikkim is where we can build the next generation of stories from. Move on to the next slide. The last slide also. So this is from the Himalayas to the world. Sikkim draws the future. I invite everybody to come to Sikkim and help us make Sikkim the manga and anime destination of India, and maybe later of the world. Thank you very much, and thank you for the Saima.